All right, everybody, it's still your boy Genius, still out at the range. And as promised, I have the original Bodyguard 2.0 and the 2.0 carry comp to do a kind of sort of side-by-side comparison. So again, most of this is, does the port make a difference in performance? Does it lessen the muzzle rise? Is it more pleasurable to shoot? You know, how much more of a difference is it over? Is it more accurate? Stay on target better? All those types of things over the original. Now, it's been about 3 months since I've shot the original. I have carried it around. I took this opportunity before. I took it out of my pocket, cleaned it, and oiled it a little bit. This one was super wet from the factory. So just to go over some of the specs right quick before I talk about some of the small differences. So the original one was 4-inch height, 5.5 inch in length, and a 0.88 in width. Okay, the height was, the weight was 9.8 ounces. And let's look at the barrel length, the 2.75, okay? And the barrel length on this one, slightly longer, okay? And it is at 3.1, okay? Now, I know I said on the Shield carry comp that I wish they would have ported the gun the same length like the P10C from CZ, how that they simply just ported, the barrel length was the same, they just simply ported it as it was. So they didn't make a compact or a subcompact gun any longer, any bigger, kind of taking away from the subcompact, okay? I was hoping when I initially saw this released that they would do the same thing with this one. They would make it a tiny bit, they would make it the same length and just port it the same length it was, because that's what was appealing about it, is how small it was. It's not overdone, okay? I'm okay with it. It's not that much longer. Again, the barrel length is 3.1, it's 2.75 on the other one. The weight is 11.8 ounces on the carry comp, and as mentioned, it's 9.8 ounces, so it's a little tiny bit heavier. Again, a little more meat on it. The height, the length, the width, all of those things, as you can see from the pictures, are the same. Ameriglow sights on the carry comp. Let's see if it tells what sights. I think they changed the sights, okay? Let's see if that is accurate. Okay, so on the original, it just simply says black sights. I think they changed the manufacturer of the sights. Now, I know that the sights on the carry comp is, the rear sight looks very similar, although on the original, the distance between the U-notch, or the cutout in the U-notch, is, I wouldn't say significantly larger. It's more in the shape of a circular type shape, whereas the Performance Center here has more of a square U-notch. And of course, the front sight is a tad bit longer, and it is green rather than orange. Now, as you know, everyone says green dot is superior, green dot, green sights, all of that. Shooting out here in these green woods, I don't tend to agree. I prefer the orange sight on this one, but I do know that a lot of people had complaints about the sights on the original and them not being, you know, spot on, if you will. But on this one, you have your green dot. The rear sight is very similar. I noticed on the original one, it has Smith & Wesson stamped on the rear sight, or the symbol. It does not on the new one. The serrations are different, okay? So I prefer the serrations on the original. They're less aggressive, although they did bring some texturing around on the top of the gun, which really doesn't make a difference in how you're able to grab the gun. But I suppose nobody is doing tack racks or anything with a gun this small, you know. So I guess it doesn't matter. To me, it's neither here nor there, but I will say that the serrations on the original is definitely more aggressive, okay? Definitely more functional, if you will. I prefer the one on the original. Let's see, it even looks better on the original. But it did bring, like I said, that texturing across the top, took some of the meat out of it. And that's not bad. It's a pretty decent look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the original Bodyguard first. I am standing at about 12 yards here. I know that's a little bit of a distance, but I have to stand at this distance to do these videos for various different reasons. But before I get started doing that, I am going to start with the original, as mentioned, 12 rounder in here. I'm just going to alternate between the targets and then do the same thing with the carry comp. Before I get started doing that, as always, I want to invite you to know Jesus Christ as your Savior. What I've been telling people is if you don't want to reach out to me at gsquaredtactical@gmail.com or in the comment section and allow me or Miss Amanda to show or share the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ with you, just pick up the Word of God. Pick up a King James Bible, pray humbly, and ask God to reveal Himself to you. And I believe, 100% I believe that He will. And if you think it's a fairy tale, He reveals Himself to you in a way that you know it's Him. And let today be today that you know Christ is your Savior, because today is the day of salvation. Consider going over supporting Amanda and I. I already mentioned how much it costs to get this 380 ammunition. It's not cheap. I don't keep it on hand typically. Don't do a whole lot of 380 reviews. So when I want to run all these different ammunitions through it, it cost me about $175 I wasn't expecting to spend on top of the expenditure of the gun. So it really helps if you go over there and consider supporting us on Patreon. I upload everything over there. It's $5, $10, $20 a month. Also, you can go to our website at gsquaredtactical.com. We have some merchandise over there, but you can also click on the 3 lines in the corner. A screen or scroll will pop down. You click on support the channel. You pick a tier. There's already a pre-inserted amount in that tier, but you just wipe it out of the name your price box, put in there what you would like to donate. I assure you it has no choice but to all go back into the channel. It'll be much appreciated to help support blue collar, down to earth, honest, everyday gun people reviews, and also to help spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. It would be a tremendous help. We would be eternally grateful if you could help out in that way. We push people towards the website because we get about 97% of that. We get the most of that donation. You can do super thanks as well. Apple and YouTube takes about 60% of that, but it's also appreciated. If you can't do any of that, we completely understand, but it's free to hit that subscribe button and it's free to let the video play in its entirety. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start out with the original. Like I said, I haven't shot this one in about 3 months. Just shot this one 50 rounds prior to this video, so I don't know. I don't think I'm any more or any less familiar, I don't guess, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to alternate between 2 or 3 targets here, and I can't shoot super fast with this gun. I mean, it's a tiny 380 at the end of the day, but I'm going to do as quick as I can. See how easy it is to stay on target and if one is better than the other. I'm probably going to do, I'll just do the 12 round magazine. I have one in the pipe, so 13 total. Riding that slide lock. It did throw one back at me. I don't remember it doing that on the original. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing with this one and see if it makes a difference at all. And also pay attention to, now when I was running the AAC ammunition in the first video, the fireball that was coming out of the end of this gun was insane. I've shot a lot of ported guns this year. That would have to be the most insane fireball I've ever seen come from a gun so far. I mean, it's pretty intense. And the reason why the video that's already up and you saw why I won't carry a ported gun. So if anything, it's just going to be a range tool. I'd say I definitely, wanted to shoot faster with this one, but as far as being able to hit the target more frequently or faster, none of that happened. I got a bee that's trying to, go ham on me here, but either way, I think it was kind of equal in that sense. Didn't really notice too much of a difference, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around and try to really focus on shooting slower and shoot it at two different targets here and at the same distance and see which one I can shoot more accurately with. Kind of try to really slow down and pay attention to the muzzle rise and whether I'm able to stay on target or acquire the target faster with the ported gun here. And then I'll turn the camera towards the woods as per usual, and I will let you be the judge of the muzzle rise, shooting the same ammunition through both of them. So let's just do that. All right, I'm going to start out with the original. I do have the 10 round magazine loaded up, just 10 total. And I'm going to shoot at the target you see in front of you, try to slow it down. I did move up to about 8 yards here, 8.5, something like that. Just got a little bit closer, be a little more fair. So we're going to start out with the original Bodyguard. Kind of sort of all over the place, but I tell you what, I hit that same spot about 4 or 5 times, so it's not too bad. Let's move it over here to this target. All right, same deal. Have the 10 round magazine loaded up in the PC or carry comp, still standing at about 8 yards, trying to shoot the same consistency or speed, if you will, aiming for the center of the target. All right, fairly similar. I don't know, I'll let you guys be the judge on that one, but do have something I want to talk about. All right, I'm gonna start out with the original Bodyguard. Got the 12, well, I got 12 rounds in the gun, and I'm going to try to shoot slow. Sometimes when I do this, I shoot a little bit too fast. I'm gonna try my best to shoot slowly and see if there's any kind of difference in the muzzle rise at all, because I definitely want to talk to you about something that I've noticed. All right, let's grab the carry comp model here and do the same thing with that. 12 rounds loaded up. All right, so I'm going to shoot one more magazine through each one of these. I'm going to do the original first before I say. This is defensive ammunition. I was going to do another video where I just shot different types of ammunition, but I do have my Winchester silver tip in here. It's a round that I carry often in 380, and I want to see the difference in using defensive ammunition and what kind of difference there is as far as felt recoil and muzzle rise. See if you pick up anything on camera before I give my assessment here. Original Bodyguard. All right, carry comp. I can tell you of a certainty that I really don't feel a difference. They both seem to shoot very, very similar, if not exactly the same to me. So, and I suspected that would happen because again, it's a very small gun, and because they didn't want to extend the length too much, I'm sure, as much as people complained about the shield carry comp and the added length of it and everything. So it is a tiny port. It is a small port. There may have been a very minuscule difference, but it was indeed minuscule. So that's just me. That's just my experience. If in someone else's hand, or if you've heard a plethora of other people talk about the tremendous difference it has made, you know, hopefully it's not one of those that received it for free or, you know, there's a ton of people that get free guns from Smith. And sometimes it's hard for me to believe when they make comments like they have the best trigger in the industry and yada, yada, yada. Like, this trigger is actually better than the 2.0 carry comp and some of the other triggers, in my opinion anyway. There's no grit in the trigger. It does have a little bit of take up, as you can see there, pretty normal. It hits a wall, and it mostly breaks on the wall there. Do the reset. I mean, it pretty much comes almost all the way back out, but the reset is noticeable, right? You can very much so hear it, and you can feel it on your finger, something you definitely could not do on the carry comp, okay, 2.0 carry comp. I literally could not hear or feel the reset on that trigger. And for people to come out and say, oh, it's one of the best triggers, carry triggers are one of the best triggers on the market, come on, man. Spill that noise somewhere else. That's just not an accurate. I mean, I can't be the only one that got the most horrible trigger. And, you know, people that are honest in the gun store, I walk in there and hold some off the shelf, and it's the same exact trigger. It's no different. But outside of that, if there's been other people that have said, you know, hey, this made a huge difference, kind of like the P10C ported model of the P10C from CZ, how it made a huge difference from the original, actually something you could physically see. It looks like, again, I watched it on my iPad here before I made an assessment, and it looks like it made a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of difference, maybe. But with that being said, it's kind of weird, right? Because if you see the picture here of my hand, how it's been biting me, and it's only the ported model that's biting me. I'm getting a lot of slide bite, okay? It's not happening with this one, and it didn't happen with this one when I originally done the review on it. The recoil, for some reason or another, feels... Now, the muzzle rise, okay, fine. Maybe, you know, the expanding gases are keeping the muzzle down just ever so slightly to maybe better stay on target, but the felt or perceived recoil in my hand or in my wrist seems, you know, I don't want to say a lot more, but it definitely seems like more on this one. So I find myself wanting to choke up on it more because of that, and that slide is biting me, okay? That's just an assessment I had, may be completely fake news. That may just, I may be off about that. My assessment could be wrong, okay? I'm just telling you what I feel. And I've noticed it the whole time I've been shooting it, okay? And I just haven't said anything till now, but this one seems as though the felt recoil, forget about the muzzle rise, staying on target, all of that. We're talking about the felt recoil. So the felt recoil on this one seems less than the felt recoil on the PC, although the PC may have a little less muzzle rise. But was I more accurate with it? I mean, I don't think so. I think it's very similar. So, but before I say, you know, hey, if you have this one, don't bother buying this one. And in my opinion, don't bother buying this one if you intend to carry it, because you saw the fireball coming out of the end of it. I invite you to go over and watch the video that I've just recently put up on why I don't carry a ported gun. I didn't get into all the scientific testing. I run an HVAC business. I'm a busy man. I don't have that kind of time, but I do what I can to show the differences as best I can. And I invite you to go over and check that out. So if you bought the PC for a range toy, which is basically what I done, a range toy, and you know, for this review obviously, but even for a range toy, for me, I don't know that it's any more fun to shoot or any more accurate or anything than is this one. So, but again, until I do, I'm gonna do 2 more videos on this. I'm gonna run all different types just through the PC model. I'm going to run all different types of defensive ammunition. I have a whole box of Winchester flat nose, 2 boxes of that actually, because there was some issues with flat nose ammunition on the original. And well, some people, not mine. Mine was perfect. But I'm going to run all these different ammunitions. That'll be the next video you see. And then after that, I'm gonna do one more, just getting it out to 300 rounds. That's all I can really afford to expend on this gun. And then I will tell you whether or not I think it's worth going out and paying the $500 or $550 price tag for this gun. Again, thanks so much for watching on this beautiful day. I hope this video helped. To God only be the glory.